If Iran were to launch a nuclear attack on Israel, what would our response be? And I want the Iranians to know that if I'm the president, we will attack Iran. Whatever stage of development they might be in their nuclear weapons program in the next 10 years, during which they might foolishly consider launching an attack on Israel, we would be able to totally obliterate them.
Of course, historically, presidents have gone to war without congressional approval for much less. In fact, the last time Congress officially declared war, that was 1942. In other words, every single American conflict since 1942 has been waged without any kind of declaration of war from Congress. But now Democrats want to believe that President Trump is doing something unprecedented and illicit, when in reality he's cleaning up an international mess, of course, left behind by these two idiots. Take a look.
Mr. President, to Iran in this moment.
Don't.
And what's the message to Iran?
Don't.
As President Biden said, just don't.
Exactly. One word. Pretty straightforward.
Don't. As it turns out, actions speak louder than words, and now the evil regime in Iran is getting obliterated. And a nuclear-armed Iran will not come to pass, thanks to President Trump and, of course, our allies in Israel. Of course, this all might have been avoided if Democrats had listened to this former Republican senator 11 years ago and not empowered and enriched the mullahs with an idiotic nuclear deal of, what, $1.7 billion in cash and other currency. Look.
Iran will immediately use the money that it's receiving in sanctions relief to begin to build up its conventional capabilities. It will establish the most dominant military power in the region outside of the United States, and it will raise the price of us operating in the region. They're going to build anti-access capabilities, rockets capable of destroying our aircraft carriers and ships. Continue to build these swift boats that are able to come on us, these fast boats that are able to swarm our naval assets. And they'll make it harder and harder for U.S. troops to be in the region. They'll also work with other terrorist groups in the region to target American servicemen and women. They'll also continue to build long-range missiles, missiles capable of reaching the United States. Those are not affected by this deal, and they'll continue to build them as they've been doing. And then at some point in the near future, when the time is right, they will build a nuclear weapon. And they will do so because at that point they will know that they have become immune, that we will no longer be able to strike their nuclear program because the price of doing so will be too high.
Marco Rubio, 11 years ago. Now, his former colleague, Louisiana Senator John Kennedy, joins us now. Senator, I look at what we are doing and watching in the first 30 seconds, the leadership wiped out. Now the Supreme Council wiped out. Their ships sunk, and they have no air defense system at all. I'd say it's going rather well.
I love this man. He's so fun.
Sean, in the words of Congresswoman Omar, I love you like a brother. And I want you to understand, I'm not trying to dodge your question. I just want to answer it in a little different way. I don't hate anyone, but I will shed no tears for the Ayatollah Khomeini. He won the coin toss, and he elected to receive. And boy, did he receive. May he rest in pieces. He died with the blood of millions of people under his fingernails. Number two, to defeat your adversaries in today's world, you have to have military power, but it takes more than military power. You have to have political will. I have watched 5, 6, 7 presidents refuse to stand up to the Ayatollah. President Trump has. He's got political will. He's got oranges. And like him or dislike him, the world is safer today because of what he has done. Number 3, any fair-minded person has to believe that the people running Iran are religious zealots. They are nuts. Any fair-minded person has to believe, has to know that Iran was never going to stop its quest to get a nuclear weapon. Any fair-minded person has to conclude that if the religious zealots are 10 exits past normal ever get a nuclear warhead, they're going to use it.
I love that.
I don't want America to be the world's policeman. I don't want the religious nuts in Iran to be either. And that's why we did not start a war. We're trying to stop a war. The president is trying to end the war.
That's right.
And it all centers around preventing them from getting a nuclear weapon and the missile technology to deliver it. There's some good people who disagree with what the president has done. I understand that. But if they could have heard what I heard in a classified briefing today from General Kane, from Secretary Rubio, Secretary Hegseth, Director Ratcliffe, in the bowels beneath the Senate in our secure room, they would conclude what I have concluded. I don't know how this will end, but we had to do it. We had to do it, and I thank Donald Trump for doing that.
And the Democratic leader in the House, the minority leader, Hakeem Jeffries, says we're going to lose. Reaction to that?
He's wrong. He's wrong. We've already won. We will eventually leave Iran after having destroyed their renewed efforts to develop a nuclear weapon, after having destroyed their missile arsenal, after having destroyed their missile launches, after having destroyed their navy, and the good people of Persia will now have an opportunity
See that?
to pick their own leadership.
That's the name of the country.
Hakeem
Persia.
is wrong.
Ancient
Senator
country.
Kennedy, I wish I had at
Persia.
times your
Free
brain.
the
May
citizens
he
of
rest
Persia.
in pieces. Well said, sir. Thank you for being with us.
I love that man.
All right, by the way,